It's Labor Day weekend. Let's get this show started so we can get back to some entertainment and fun for this weekend. Hey there, welcome to the show. This is Les Solgrove. It's Simply Des Moines weekly market update from Simply Des Moines and Via Realtors. This is the show that we talk weekly about what's happening in the Des Moines and Central Iowa real estate market. And we're currently on what week are we? 35, I think, this week. And it's Labor Day weekend. We're kind of at that crossroads where the year kind of starts to feel like it's slipping past us, and won't be long, and we'll be into the fall and then into winter again. So thanks for joining me. Let's get this show started here. So the first thing that happened this past week on September 1st was we did hit another 1,000 closed sale milestone. We surpassed the 11,000 closed sales mark for the first time this year. It took us 20 days to do that versus about 15 last year. So the market is definitely slowing just a little bit. And you can kind of see that that's pretty much on par with the previous 2000s there, 8,000 to 9 and 9 to 10 were around that 20 to 17. So nothing out of the ordinary, but just a little bit slower than last year. And the other thing that is kind of interesting is that prior to 2015, we had not hit 11,000 closed sales in a year. So as we start to move forward toward the end of the year, you'll start to see some of these graphics kind of drop off. For example, the next time we hit another 1,000 milestone, we hit 12,000, we will also drop off I think it's 2015 drops off. So it's just kind of interesting how we're progressing along here. So the week 35 dashboard, nothing really changed much this week other than the fact that our months of inventory overall is at 2.3 months, which means that we're not that far out of being into an even market. And if you recall, about a year ago, or a little over a year ago, we changed the measure from 0 to 3 months being a seller's market, 3 to 5 an even market, and 5+ months being a buyer's market. Beginning January 1st, I will move this back to the traditional 0 to 4 is a seller's market, 4 to 6 will be an even market, and 6 above will be a buyer's market. And that's kind of following track with what the National Association has kind of been doing here. They're the reason why we dropped it down just a little bit, because the fast-paced market just gave us a little bit more of it was a little harder to really determine exactly what kind of market we were favoring. So even though it's odd, we do kind of occasionally make those changes there. So let's get into the end of month recap for the month of August. This is our month end show, so it could be a little long, although I'm going to try to keep it within our 10 to 15 minute time frame if possible. The first graphic I'm going to bring you is one I haven't shown you since April. This is the type of financing, year-to-date type of financing used. And you can see at the end of April, there was, the conventional financing made up about 73%, 73.5% of our total sales were conventional properties. And if you look over here to the right, in fact, I'll just highlight the percentages. You'll see on year-to-date as of August 31st, these numbers really haven't changed as a whole lot this year. We're still on track to do about three out of every 4 sales right now are being financed conventional, and cash is bringing up the second place at 12.5%. So we've had a little bit of additional sales this year, at least on the rise since April. For cash sales, we're at 12.5% of sales have been basically paying cash. FHA is struggling a little bit. It's only down, it's about 7%, a little over 7%, and VA is also dropping a little bit. There's this bias, and I've kind of talked about it before. There's a little bit of a bias against the government finance programs, and that's kind of a shame, because really it's not as hard to finance using FHA and VA financing. In fact, the VA especially is hard, because that's basically the only pathway to financing or home buying for a lot of our veterans. The conventional, the FHA buyers are able to do some creative conventional financing occasionally, but boy, the veterans really need to have homes available. We've sold 417 homes this year and financed through VA. If you're wondering what the other category is, those are our USDA grant programs or NFC funding programs. And again, about 1.5% of our sales are utilizing that type of a financing there. So let's jump into the months of inventory by price range. This one I'm not going to talk a lot about. Let me move my head just a minute here. What I've got here on the left-hand side of the graphic is the numbers from a year ago today. So we're kind of looking at August of 2022 versus August of 2021. And as you get to the higher end, you'll see that there's occasionally some high fluctuations. So for example, the $800,000 to $900,000 price point this year is currently sitting at the end of August, 6.8 months of inventory versus 1.5 months last year at this time. That just basically means there's so few inventory in that sale category that, you know, if you add 2 or 3 more sales or take away 2 or 3 sales, it can actually bump this deep into one category or the other and kind of skip that even market. So don't get too worked up over the top end of that. It's really the bottom end down here that we're seeing is the under 100 is matching exactly where we were last year. We're just slightly a little bit more inventory, enough to go to 0.9 months of inventory from 100 to 200. We are starting to see inventory slightly build in that $200,000 to $300,000 price point, and then once you get into the 300 and above, you start to see new construction kind of start to make a play there. 2.9 months of inventory versus 2.1 a year ago, 3.4 versus 1.9 a year ago. So we're definitely seeing new construction be inventory build, and I'm going to go into that in depth as we move into today's show just a little bit more. So let's see what else we can talk about here. This is the market activity by listing status, and this is one that we look at each month at the end of the month. And I always talk about how our inventory is on the rise, and this is a good one to apply that last year's August of 2021 numbers too. I didn't do all of them, the expired temp off and the canceled listings, because those are there's kind of at the bottom of the list anyway. But let's look at new listings added to the inventory. So we're currently at 841 homes on the market as of the end of August, and 802 last year. That's about almost a 5% increase in inventory year over year. The pending sales, we are down. We know we're down in pending sales. We were at 1469 last year to 1216. That's a 17% drop in pending sales in the closing process. The number of closed sales, we're trailing right now upwards of 10%, and it wouldn't surprise me if by the time we got through the month of September that we are 10, 11, 12% behind last year. I just feel like we're going to not have as strong of a closed sale count this year, just because we don't have the pending sales to produce those. Our price increases, no question about it. We are definitely seeing a drop in price increases, and that has a lot to do with the fact that our inventory is building and sellers are no longer feeling like builders, for example, are not adding higher priced inventory, trying to lead the market upwards. So we're down about almost 30% there. And then the price reductions, when homes tend to take a little bit more time on the market, we tend to see additional price reductions. So this one wins the prize for the highest percentage change year over year at almost 60%, with 1,279 price reductions just in the month of August alone, compared to 807 last year. Homes for sale by price point. Again, we're going to talk in depth about where this inventory bump is coming from, but I like to show this number again. It's got the numbers off to the side there showing where we were August of last year at this time. And that $300,000 to $400,000 price point is today at 757 homes currently on the market versus 575. And we are seeing an increase in that 2 to 3, but actually when you get below that 200, we're still seeing fewer homes on the market than we were last year. So that's why the market probably feels like it's not as slow as in some price points, or slowing down in some price points, but it certainly is feeling the effects when you get down into that entry level, that under $200,000 price point. So just so you know what it looks like on the pending side, same kind of thing. We're seeing, reduced pending sales, fewer pending sales up and down the board. The $500,000 to $600,000 price point's about even with last year. We have a few more pending sales in that $600,000 to $700,000 price point. So the whole market here it kind of feels maybe like a little bit of a shell game. Where's the market activity happening as we move forward through the year or through the end of the year? And it's one thing to feel like, hear me say every week, our home inventory levels are on the rise, but where exactly is that happening? Is it happening in, certain neighborhoods, certain communities, or certain types of houses? And now I'm going to focus today basically on the type of property that we're listing out there. And I'll give you an idea of where the inventory is really on the rise. So the graphic here at the top, or on the front page here that you're seeing right now, is the graphic that I update every single day at DesMoinesMarketValues.com. At the end of the day, I'll upload this to Des Moines Market Values, and it's the homepage screen. You can get a quick snapshot of where the inventory is building, and you can see that we've kind of flattened off the month of August, where we were prior to that, we were on the rise each week, adding more and more homes for sale, and we've kind of flattened off through the month of August. Although the month of September the end of August, first part of September, we actually did just start to see a rise in home inventory levels overall. But if you look down at the bottom down here, in fact, I'm going to put a circle around the new construction. That's the green and yellow at the very bottom. You'll see that new construction single-family homes have really been increasing their inventory levels all the way back to the first part of May. And so the question is it home inventories rising in that particular category, or is it the fact that maybe they're not selling as fast and that's why the inventory is building? That's kind of what it appears to be in the homes for sale of the new homes, okay? But once you get into the new construction condo townhomes, that's a little more interesting, because you can kind of see, it was starting to build just a little bit, but then about midway through August, we saw a couple of builders actually open up a couple of new developments of townhomes. And so that's why we see that huge spike there. Whenever you see a huge spike in new construction, that just basically means they've opened up a development and have added quite a bit of inventory to the marketplace. So that's kind of where a lot of our inventory is coming from. And so let's look at that just a little bit deeper here. This is homes for sale, the home inventory levels versus last year. And I've got the percentage increase over the same time last year at the bottom of this graphic. And you can see that the existing homes are up about 12%, with 1,138 homes currently on the market versus 1,017 last year. Existing condo townhomes, those are the hot sellers right now and have been all year long, and I think will continue to be. We're actually down about 20% of our inventory to where we were last year, and that is, really. I say this every time we talk about condo townhomes that are existing condo townhomes, especially the existing townhomes. If you've got one for sale and it's priced right and it's in great condition, it's probably sold within a day or two, and sometimes maybe still with some multiple offers. So those are our golden listings right now in this particular scenario. The number one growth category that we have in homes for sale so far this year is our new homes, and even actually new condo townhomes. Both are at, one's at 37% increase over last year, and the other's at 35%. Prior to that huge bump that we had, a huge bump. There's about 200 or 300 listings, I think, or I'm sorry, 50 or 60 listings came onto the market in the condo townhome market area that really bumped that up to 35%. Otherwise, it would have probably been closer to the 215, 220 number that we saw last year. But that 1,074 is a little bit concerning, and I'm going to talk about that at the end here at the last graphic. So kind of keep that number in mind. Homes in the sale pending status by property type. Again, This is where the market maybe it feels like it's slowing down just a little bit. We're down 26% in sale pendings of existing homes. We're at 1446 versus just almost 2,000 at this time last year. Our existing condo townhome sales are down by 15%, and that's completely by the fact that we just didn't have as many homes on the market so far this year for those. Again, those sell very, very quickly. The new construction, remember that one had the huge 37% increase, and but it's down 45% in sell pendings. So again, when we get to this last slide, that's a number that if you're a builder out there, or if you are representing your builder, you need to be talking to them about inventory and where the market's kind of heading in the new construction categories. So condo townhomes, again, pretty close to last year as far as sale pendings. The demand still seems to be there, and a lot of that's due to affordability now this year with home interest rate, mortgage interest rates. The next to the last slide here, this is the looking at homes sold year to date. Again, 7,606 is our currently closed count as of September 4th. I know it says September 5th at the top there. That's just a auto date stamp because we're recording on September 5th. But this is as of September 4th, 7,600 homes versus 8,100 closed last year. Again, we're seeing 6% decrease in existing home sales, 7% increase in existing condo townhomes. New home sales are pretty well just flat at minus 1% versus last year. And actually, that should be a plus 1%. It looks like they're up by 1%. I didn't make that minus a plus. It's up by 1%. And our new condo townhome sales are up by about 2.5%. So let's jump to this very last slide here. And this is kind of a snapshot recap. And this is a great graphic. Once it's all filled in, go to DesMoinesMarketValues.com and either navigate to the show graphics, or if you follow the URL that it's the bottom of this slide here, it's download-show-graphics. You'll be able to get this graphic in complete form. It'll all be filled out, and you'll be able to see kind of a unique snapshot of the marketplace. And so we're going to break down the resale side on the left and the new construction on the right. The left side at the top is existing homes. So no condo townhomes. This is just your standard everyday house for sale. At 1,138 homes currently for sale. Year over year, we're up by 121 homes currently on the market. And our highest inventory at this past year was 1,216 homes for sale. And that was just a couple of weeks ago. August 16th, we actually hit that 1,216 count. So we are approaching inventory records, year-to-date records, as we move toward the end of the year. And at 1,446 homes under contract, that's again about 500 short of where we were last year. Our lowest pending count for the year was 1,273. That's we've certainly seen a little bit of a pickup here in the last couple of weeks, so that's good that we're at 1,446. And we talked already about how we're at $7,600 year-to-date closed sales. Again, that's about 500 down from this time a year ago. And all of the existing home sales make up about 70% of our sales. So 7 out of 10 sales that we record throughout the year so far to date has been a single family resale. So by far, this is our largest category. A little quicker now because we kind of understand the way this works. Existing condo townhomes, 142 for sale. 160 was our highest inventory point, and that was back on August 4th. So again, still this month, we were in the month of August, this past month. 294 was our under contract. We're down a little bit. Our lowest count was 188, and the condo townhomes make up about 12%. Now here's where it gets interesting, and this is where you really need to be paying attention if you're a builder or in the new construction field, or if you're looking for new construction as a buyer. This is where maybe some good deals can be had as we move towards fall, because inventory is certainly at the highest point. In fact, you see the little asterisk there. That asterisk means that this is the record high or a record low. This is a record statistic for this particular year, and it happens to be As of today, as a matter of fact, we are currently at 1,074 homes for sale. That's 292 more than we had on the market at this time last year. And that number is actually the number we have as of yesterday, as of September 4th. And I assume it'll still be the same today on Labor Day because it's a holiday weekend. But we're at the height of our inventory and at our very, very lowest as far at the under contract stage. So if you want to look at it another way, we have 1,074 homes for sale and almost 500 homes under contract. So we have really double the inventory out there that we are currently selling. So it's just a pretty precarious situation I think that builders are in right now as we move towards fall. That home inventories are on the rise and pendings are dropping. So again. New home sales make up about 16%. It's the second most active portion of our marketplace. 16% of all sales come from new construction homes. And then to round this all out is the new condo townhomes. 293 currently for sale. Our 303 was the highest, and that was as of just last week on August 24th when we had that number. So you can kind of see a similar pattern happening, although the disparity or that stretch between the number of homes for sale and the number under contract is nowhere near the spread that we have in the new construction actual homes, single family homes. So, and of course, this category brings you about 4%. So anyway, that's this week's show. I do invite you to please go to DesMoinesMarketValues.com for all the graphics from this week's show and previous week's shows. That's also the place where you can go to watch previous market videos. I think last week's video was one of the best that has come out. It talked all about the cycles of the real estate market and hopefully gave you some confidence that we're not probably going to have a real estate market crash like you're hearing the media talk about. But in the meantime, that's a great place for you to go. You get all the graphics. You can certainly download them all or just view them online, and appreciate your subscriptions. Please leave a comment, give me that thumbs up button, and we will see you all again next week.